Hi everyone, and welcome back to my channel. I'm so happy to be back with another video. For today's video, we are going to be philosophizing the phenomenon of colors. Colors have made such a drastic impact on our life experience, and it's important to be aware of how colors are impacting us and how we can live a better life by acknowledging and understanding our perspectives of colors. Later in the video, I will be going over a color experiment that I implemented in my life and that you should implement in yours, because it will very likely solve all of your problems. So you can stay tuned for that. And the makeup look we'll be doing is going to be a black and white cut crease. I know that this is an episode about colors, but I just wanted to do a black and white look. So yeah, let's just get started with the video. Philosophizing colors is so interesting because there are so many different aspects of colors that you could think of. For example, we know that there are ethnocentric biases of colors. We also know that there are certain colors that evoke certain emotions. I would always tell people that I have to see the color yellow in order to be happy. The sun itself gives me happiness, and maybe that is why the color yellow makes me happy. As I was preparing for this video, I realized that in thinking about how does our mind change the way that we're seeing a color, or am I seeing red in the same way you're seeing red? In the way that we are philosophizing and overthinking these ideas of colors and the way we perceive them, we are kind of steering away from the true philosophy of colors, and that is sometimes colors are just there simply to be appreciated and not have a deeper meaning behind them. I did watch Bill Nye the Science Guy's episode on color and light. Color is really just a frequency of light, and there is scientific evidence behind how colors come into existence. However, as I continue to philosophize on this, I realize that at the end of the day, we must acknowledge that what we see depends on the receiver as much as the giver. So yes, we understand how these colors are able to be presented to us, but in order to truly understand the meaning of colors, we must understand how we are individually perceiving the colors. When I think about a black and white world in comparison to a world of color, the world of color is just so much more vibrant and passionate and animated, and I don't want to live in a world that's just black and white. It's not just seeing colors that makes life better, it's the feelings that colors give me. I found that colors in nature have their own specific meaning, whereas colors in the superficial world, like colors of inanimate objects, have a different sort of meaning, and that different meaning is something that we create in our minds or that have been instilled in our minds from our culture or just society in general, and we are just conditioned to perceive the color in that way. So I guess what I'm trying to say is that you really have to understand how your mind works and be mindful when you are placing meaning on specific things because the color of that influences your perception of whatever it is you're perceiving. There are not really a lot of philosophies out there about color because there is a scientific explanation behind them, and the way we perceive colors is really just within our consciousness. There is a philosopher, Johann Wolfgang von Goethe. He really looked into how colors create emotions within us and really studied the human perception of colors. But if I'm remembering this correctly, his theory of colors was from the late 1800s, and philosophizing colors in today's world has to be so much different than it was back then. I want to show you all this chart that kind of goes into the next topic we'll be talking about, but this chart kind of shows how colors are used in marketing and can draw your attention in different ways. So here's the chart right here. It kind of goes over each color. It shows different logos, and understanding this alone is another reason as to why I think philosophizing colors is so different in the modern world. If color only existed in nature, I think it would be appreciated a lot more and not just used as a way to sell your things. As we advance in society and use colors in different ways, I think it's really cool, but we still need to discuss the negative impact of colors in our lives. As I finish up my makeup look, I now want to present my color experiment idea. Well, it's not my idea. A friend of mine in college actually low-key forced this experiment upon me only because he knew that it would solve all of my problems. After a couple months of this experiment being implemented into my life, all of my problems were in fact resolved. So what is this idea, you might ask? The experiment is really just to turn your phone display settings into black and white. Hoping that you have an iPhone, because I don't know how to do it on an Android. If you have an Android, just look it up on Google. But on the iPhone, you're just going to go to settings and then accessibility, and then display and text size. You're gonna scroll to find color filters. You are gonna turn the color filters on, making sure that the grayscale filter is checked off. After doing that, your phone will be completely in black and white. When you first make this change, it's going to feel very uncomfortable using your phone. It is not gonna be a nice feeling. Of course, it's a huge change. We're always looking at our phones. Try it for at least a month. You'll find that the colors on your phone, they create this sort of sense of importance or this extra sense of urgency that really isn't even real. It's just the vibrant color on your phone that's making you think that it's important and suddenly want to click on whatever app it is that's just standing out to you in that moment. You are the decider of what you think is important, what you think you should prioritize. It shouldn't be in the hands of these corporations that create these applications and put these colors on the app so that you will be drawn towards it. Do you want to be brainwashed or not? So as you partake in this experiment, it's going to be a challenge. At the time, I was using Snapchat, and of course, I'm always on Instagram, so seeing your Snapchats in black and white, as well as every Instagram photo in black and white, is a big change. But again, trust me, it's completely worth it. You're not gonna miss out on anything really that important if you turn your phone on black and white for a whole month. You might think you're totally missing out on so much, but that just goes to show how you're putting additional meaning onto the things on your phone just because it has color. When I turned my phone to black and white, in a way it kind of did make me go on my phone less, but I still went on my phone a decent amount because I realized that there are functions and purposes that your phone serves, such as your calculator, telling time, talking to people, Google searching things. So I still did those things, and I was still very able to do those things easily without seeing all the colors on the phone. Additionally, taking these steps allowed me to just appreciate real life colors so much more. I feel like when we see these bright colors on your phone, it's like a sensory overload. And so it takes up all our attention. And then when we go out in nature, we can't fully appreciate the colors that nature provides us. If you want to live a better life, just do this for a month and just see how your life changes. Another challenge that I faced when trying out this experiment was judgment from my friends and other random people in my life. My friends would see my screen and be like, why is your phone in black and white? That's so weird, because it made them uncomfortable. As I said, when you first change it to black and white, it's going to be very uncomfortable. So when your friends or other people see your phone in that way, they're going to be very taken aback and just, honestly, my friend was like slightly offended. And it's like, you guys, the amount of friends that really tried to force me to change my phone back to color when it was in black and white was just shocking. And it's kind of just like a philosophical realization of how much not only you depend on your phone, but just the world depends on each person having their phone. So it was a very interesting experience, but it's totally worth the judgments you'll get, totally worth the struggle and the uncomfortability. 10 out of 10 would recommend. Try it today. Just try it out for a month and leave a comment down below how this experiment affects you. I want to end this video by emphasizing the fact that the meaning of colors is all in our individual minds. Yes, there are some universal understandings of colors, like blue meaning cool, whereas red means warm. But the feelings that we feel as a result of colors alone cannot be completely explained by just physical facts. If we could not experience colors at all and we just lived in a completely black and white world our whole lives, no matter what knowledge we have about colors, it would never be the same as actually experiencing colors. So there are limits to what we know about something that we cannot experience. And all this being said, no matter how much we experiment on or philosophize about a particular topic, there will always be certain aspects of the universe that are permanently beyond our comprehension. So as I say in every video, never stop philosophizing, because there's so much we don't know and so much we'll never know. And that's what makes philosophizing so fascinating and fun. But yeah, thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you all on the next video.